When Helene struck a year ago, emergency crews, even our own meteorologists here at News 5, struggled to predict what was coming and the amount of water that was on the way. The big issue is we didn't have enough data to tell how fast the river was rising. News 5's Leon Bridgman explains how local counties are now pushing for more information ahead of another flood.
This is a river or a stream gauge. It's a device that monitors water levels and flow rates. They provide real-time data. Some even forecast how much water could be coming downriver. But during Helene, when emergency responders, the TVA, and even our own Storm Track 5 meteorologists were trying to prepare for what the Nolichucky River could look like, they ran into a problem. There just weren't enough gauges, and because of that, not enough data to prepare for what was coming.
We knew that there was going to be a lot of rain, especially on the North Carolina side of the mountains.
Getting closer, the rainfall rates are getting much more intense in western North Carolina.
We were concerned about how much runoff there would be from those rains in North Carolina coming in to northeast Tennessee on certain rivers.
Cities, we have some river flood warnings, though, including along the Nolichucky.
We knew that there was going to be flooding. We knew it was going to be really bad on the North Carolina side and potentially bad elsewhere, but we just didn't know how bad because of the limited amount of river gauge data.
The Nolichucky River spans 115 miles, beginning in western North Carolina, eventually making its way into Unicoi County. Of the miles and miles of river in North Carolina, according to the USGS database, there's only one active river gauge near Silo, North Carolina. That's more than 30 miles upstream of Unicoi County.
That morning, about 6 o'clock, we started watching the river even closer because of the rain that was coming down. Actually went to a couple of houses, looked, and everything was right on the edge of the banks. And we tried to actually call and talk to Mitchell County that morning, and apparently the phone lines was already down. And that should have been a hint. And that might have been, thinking back, what gave us kind of the gut feeling, hey, they're not answering the telephone over out there, either slammed or something's happened.
Without warning, Unicoi County EMA Director Jimmy Irwin says he had to lead with that gut feeling, evacuating the Unicoi County Hospital.
All day long we kept saying, can't get no worse than this, can't get no worse than this, and it did. It kept getting worse.
More than 60 patients, hospital staff, and first responders, including Irwin, found themselves stranded on top of the hospital. The water of the Nolichucky just feet away from engulfing the entire building. Irwin knew if he wasn't prepared for what just hit, neither were the other EMAs downstream of the Nolichucky.
The only warning Washington County and Greene County had that day is when I was on the roof and I called Washington County EMA and said, hey, we've got heavy flood and we're on the roof. It's coming your way. Tell Greene County it's coming their way too.
All we knew is we had a wall of water coming.
Just like Jimmy Irwin in Unicoi, Greene County EMA Heather Sipe had been monitoring the stream gauges she could see upstream from her. Past Unicoi, there's a gauge in Embryville about 5 miles downriver. But before the worst of the water came crashing into our region, that gauge failed, capping out at about 19.5 feet. The water would eventually reach 32 feet.
We shut down our low-lying bridges early. We've learned to do that. But never in our forethoughts did we think about having to shut down a 60-foot bridge and an 80-foot bridge. But when we knew that all the bridges were being taken out in Washington County, we went ahead and took measures to shut down the 60-foot bridge and the 80-foot bridge, which is at the dam, and then also to put out evacuation orders. I can't express the partnership and the love we have for each other here in Upper East Tennessee. We take care of each other because when the dynamics of technology disappear, all we have is each other.
Now, a year later, as our region continues to rebuild, those who saw the damage firsthand and did what they could to mitigate it are calling for more warning.
Had we had better monitors, had better technology to show that how much water was actually coming down, maybe we could have acted 20 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier, give out more warnings.
Our push point for this is it's a safety thing. We need this data so that we can save lives.
Leaders in both Greene and Unicoi counties are looking at some practical steps to get more river gauges placed along the Nolichucky River Basin. In Unicoi, the goal is to work with CSX to potentially purchase more gauges as they continue to rebuild about 60 miles of railroad that follows the river. In Greene County, EMA Director Heather Sipe says they've continued to apply for grants to get more gauges. They're also set to manually mark their bridges to be able to see how quickly the water is rising. For News 5, I'm Liam Bridgman.
Let's take a look back at some of the big picture of Helene and the destruction, and is the deadliest hurricanes to hit since Katrina to strike the mainland U.S. The National Weather Service says 250 people died. The body of at least one person who is still missing has not been found in Washington County, Tennessee.